We started renovations of a summer home in New Hampshire, and as part of the process I've been networking the house, using network cameras in the house and a lot of Z-Wave devices, and we keep expanding the system so it becomes more and more elaborate. One of the issues I was concerned about is we're snowbirds. So I've had experiences in the past with water damage from broken pipes, burst pipes. It's not a fun thing. It's an expensive situation, even with insurance, and it's a major headache. And if you're out of town when it happens, it's even worse. So what we decided to do here was I put on a dome water valve shutoff, and I just supplemented that today with 3 water leak sensors. Okay, one by the furnace, one by the washer dryer shutoff, and one under the water main, so that we can be made aware should a problem develop while we're gone, and have the water turned off remotely. The dome system was very simple to set up, one of the easiest I've come across so far. When you click the device in Smartthings, yes, I'm using Smartthings. It's also compatible with Wink, I believe, among other Z-Wave hubs. And in Smartthings, when you go into the device, dome is listed there. You pick the particular device. The water shutoff is there. It tells you how many times to push the button, which in this case is 3, and link right in. Not an issue. Same with the water sensors. The water sensors are nice because you can either remote them with an extension or just put them on the floor without the remote attachment. I'm using them without the attachment. However, if you have a sump, it can notify you that your sump is filling up and you're going to have a problem. Or behind a refrigerator, that you have a water leak there, you can extend the sensor back to there. The video will go through some of these. The turnoff was already installed, but I will show you it functioning. I will go through the installation of the sensors. I may be going through things a little quickly in there, but I assume if you're getting this far into Z-Wave, you have some experience and you're not a total novice. So again, this was easy. And finally, before we get into the video, the most important thing of the whole thing, I called my insurance carrier after installing just the shutoff, and it knocked $61 off my insurance premium, and this was mid-season. That was a return of premium. So next year it should be a bigger payback, which means the shutoff, which costs about $100, is paid for by your insurance carrier the first year. The sensors, which cost $35 each, you're whole by the end of 2 years. So you decide for yourself, but that was a plus I didn't think of when I started getting involved. And again, I made the call once I put the shutoff in, and that was nice. Now I do have an ADT sensor in the house. Now, not in this house, but in a different location. I had an ADT sensor save my hide. I had just been in the basement. As soon as I got upstairs, I got a call from ADT, there's water in the basement. And I didn't know what the hell they were talking about since I was just down there. Turned out the overflow valve on the furnace had just started leaking. I mean, talk about luck. We got that shut down before it spread into any damage. So I'm a firm believer in water sensors and warnings and being able to control the situation, because a lot of damage can be done by water in a very short period of time. Now we'll go on to the rest of the video. Last week I got a call from my son. He ordered 3 of these dome water shutoffs. He only needed 2 and asked if I wanted the 3rd. Being a snowbird, this seemed like a good idea. I've had issues with broken pipes in the past, and it certainly would be something I'd like to avoid in the future. These were the dome water main shutoffs that he had gotten. I was not familiar with them. I know there are a number of them on the market. As it turned out, this was very easy to install. The only complication I had was we had the old circular type valve on here. I don't know what you call it, but you know, the one with the round handle. And the plumber had to install a knife valve, or ball valve. So we put that in. This went right in, took a couple minutes, ran the wire. I had to use an extension cord and went to load it into the Z-Wave system. I'm using Smartthings, and this was one of the easier things to load in. Just went to the dome icon, hit the button. It tells you how many times to hit it. I think it was 3 times. It incorporated it, and it started working. So now it shows up in my Smartthings app. I put it in the proper room, and when I hit the button, it will close and shut the water flow off. Okay, so now the valve is closed. The system stops. I have a plumber upstairs, so I'm going to reopen it again now. And I get the signal that it's open. Now, this was very simple to install. You have a bracing arm down here that straps to the pipe with some pipe brackets. You just screw them down till it's snug, and you have to make sure that the nut in the center of this lines up with the nut in the center of the valve. And then you have the upper handle that does the actual turning on and off. Now I flip this over. This is adjustable both for width, so you can make it wider to accommodate different handles, and you can flip it over. Originally it came set up to just grab the handle at the end. I flipped it over so it would grab it more securely by the body, and that seems to be working fine. Again, this was one of the easier things to go through in Smartthings. I'm not going to bother going through the loading into Smartthings. If you've gotten this far, I'd hope you have some idea what's going on in Smartthings. Some things are tougher than others to load in. This was a piece of cake. Very simple. Now, I like this so much, it seems I had water sensors in the house that were through ADT, and I'm going to put in some dome water sensors that will relay the signal to this in case there is a leak, and they can then automatically shut it down. And I'm sure with the messaging, I can send myself a message letting me know that there's water in the basement and that the water's been shut off. I can then check it out. Carrying it a step farther, my son suggested, gee, where you have the sensors, why don't you install a camera so that you can flip on the camera to see how bad the leak is. So that may be an idea for the future. It's not happening today. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go set up one of the sensors, because they just arrived in the mail today. And those, since they're sitting on the desk, I will go through the installation for the Smartthings with you. This is the dome sensor. Neat little device, can be used in several ways. The instruction manual that comes with it is pretty well written, it appears, to the point and concise. So, it's quick and simple reading and not a big deal to try and understand it. Now, the sensor comes with a base that allows you to hook up a remote sensor. Here, plugs into the side. You line up the connectors in here. You got three connectors there. Line them up, snap it back in. You can now place the remote sensor behind your refrigerator, in your sump, if you want a warning that your sump might be overflowing soon. And that makes it very versatile. I am going to be using it without the base and using it near my furnace where the water heater is. So you have to open it, remove the battery tab, make sure the battery's in, it starts blinking, and we have our button there. And let's find out how many times we have to push the button. So now we're going to include this in the Smartthings network. We've taken off the back, removed the battery tab. Okay, my light lit when it was connected, and now we're going to put it into Smartthings. So we're going to go to Plus, and we're going to go to Device, and we're going to go to Dome, and we're going to go to Water Leak Sensor, Dome, and now let's get started. I'll pick my room. I got the right hub. I have other hubs. Go there, and now supposed to hit the button 3 times, and the red light goes 5 times, indicating it's connecting. They also tell you in Smartthings to hit it 3 times. And now we wait. And we wait. And we can wait a little more. And it looks like we got it. So there's our water leak sensor. We'll leave that name for now. And it's showing up in the right room. So it indicates dry, and we'll test it out. So now it's included. It indicates dry. I have a wet rag here, and let's see. It indicates water. I get a message that the Dome water leak sensor has detected moisture, and it indicates wet on the, now it's gone back to dry on the app, on the icon. So we know it works. Next thing we're going to do is create an automation to have it turn off the valve. So let's go back here for a second. So if we get the wet condition from the sensor, then we want to control the device. Water main shut off. Next. Valve closed. Save. Funny, it didn't want to respond before. So now we have that closed. Then the water valve closed, save, and click OK. So now when we get the wet condition, it should shut the valve. We'll give that a try in a second. Now we're going to test the system. Okay, I linked the two so that if the sensor detects water, it will automatically shut the valve. And Smartthings automatically, I did not have to program it, will tell you that the sensor has detected water. What I will have to do is add to the automation that the water valve has been closed. So let's give this a try. I have my wet rag here. You should hear the signal in a second. There's the signal. And you may have heard my phone in the background. As soon as the sensor goes off, it sends you the message. Now I'm going to reopen this with my phone. And there you go. It took longer to set up the camera than it took to get this all hooked up. Hope it works for you. Think this was a great idea. Oh, and I nearly forgot. I called my insurance agent. Halfway through the year, they gave me a $61 return of premium. So I assume it will be more for the full year. And that means the premium return on the insurance for 1 year has paid for at least half of the cost of the sensor. Excuse me, not the sensor, the shutoff, which is about $100. Hey, the sensors ran me $35 each for the dome sensors, and they seem to be in the same ballpark as the others. So don't forget, if you put something like this in, contact your insurance broker. It could be worth money to you.